All right, here we are, week 14 of Low Car Fantasy Football League. 1 week, we've still got to decide one playoff spot, one division. We've got a lot to focus on, and we'll get into all that. But first, we have to bring our guest on. Come to us from the West Coast where it's still light out. I must say, I'm a little jealous. It's quite dark here. Been that way for about 3 hours. So we'll just jump right in. Our maybe the most important government employee that we have to come on the podcast this year. We won't disparage our other league members, but we'll bring on an important security member of this country, Mr. Wagner. Oh, we got some snacks going on. How are you,
Former
sir?
government employee. As of
Ooh.
Monday. Boom, bye, government.
Congratulations. I'll take it.
Oh, what's new in Florida?
Gets dark real early these days, not as early as up north, but we're good. What do we do? Tonight we went from school to Chick-fil-A, let the kids run around for about an hour, eat some chicken nuggets, and one is asleep and the other one is, I'm sure, not asleep right now.
Time is bedtime for your
We'll see.
No.
No, you know what it is? When they drop the nap at home, they go to bed nice and early and easy on the weekend. But during the week where they still nap at school, there's this abundance of energy that
you've gone to zero
they have to get rid of. Yeah.
Zero naps at home. I can't even fathom. When does that happen?
Sometime after the age of 3, if you're lucky. Some kids drop it really early, but they shouldn't drop it till they're probably at least 3. The daycare nap throws it off because during the week he just it's like 8:30 before he wants to go to sleep. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. So
that's messed up. We're still doing the nap no matter what, and we're still going to bed at 7:30, 7 o'clock maybe.
7 o'clock. That's nice. Yeah, we've got the younger one is asleep, so he's easy. He naps once at school, twice at home. He's easy. The other one, my God.
I have to admit, with the losing season that I've had, and the changing jobs, and this just in, us moving to DC in March.
Whoa!
I have not watched a pod episode all season, and I feel bad because normally most years, although I don't watch it live, I watch every single episode within 24 hours after it comes out, and I have been an absolutely terrible pod fan this year. Give me a pod highlight of the past 12 weeks.
I'll tell you what. Here's the highlight. I'll put it on the screen for you. So our number one commenter is currently at an event he cannot hear, which may or may not be really good for how this goes. I think what the highlight this year has been we've changed to a different platform. It's a lot more user friendly.
I like the platform. Easier. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so this is a platform that if you watch a lot of podcasts, this is a very popular platform. It just makes things a lot more seamless. It's easier to navigate and to share the screen and make it all look fancy. So that's, I think, the biggest highlight. We've had some great, guests, of course. We've had some great conversation and some great comments from the chat. So,
I feel like I missed out.
It's okay. Don't worry. We've had a lot of good Jacobs quips.
Has been such dog shit. I'm just surprised I'm not last. Shout out to Zach. Thanks for joining the league, picking the shittiest team and keeping the tradition alive. But I fully expected to be far worse than 4-9. This is arguably, if you think about it, relatively a winning season.
I would say this. You have scored the fewest points 5 of 13 weeks.
Yep.
Well done.
And I've won 4 of 13 weeks.
The fact that you have 4 wins, honestly, probably your biggest overachievement.
And I don't know if this has come up in previous pod episodes. Probably not, because my team's not worth talking about. But I have also failed at trading for any future capital.
Well,
one trade.
I think the problem there was you didn't walk out of the draft with a lot of good talent that you were going to be able to flip, right? So
my strategy which flopped, was to hang on to 3 top 10 players at a traditionally very weak position for this league and for the NFL, tight end, and 2 strong quarterbacks at the time, and try to sell those for whatever capital they were worth within their own position group, because there were not that many great quarterbacks and there were definitely not that many good tight ends. Problem is, then Brock Purdy hurt himself, and Tucker Kraft hurt himself, and now I'm fucked.
Yeah, that definitely didn't work out for you. The Tucker Kraft, that looked really good for a while. I mean, that looked. He hasn't played now in
The whole season,
a month.
Week 2.
No, he got hurt week 9.
9.
So he hasn't played in 4+ weeks. He is the 8th overall tight end in fantasy, and he hasn't played in a third of this season.
No.
I mean,
he was like a 16th-round keeper, so I'll still keep him for next year for the final keeper year. I probably won't keep anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. You never know. You might.
The way our keeper system works, the structure really incentivizes keeping a waiver wire pickup or a rookie flyer. But now that we only have 1 year left, it changes everything.
It's 1 year, so you don't need to think about that. And also, you have all off season. Let's just say, for example, somebody gets hurt here in the playoffs, and that elevates the status of like a Troy Franklin or Rashad White. You might go and go, well, that's the guy I have to keep, right?
Or you commit to keeping them, and then that team trades for the position and trades through a trade.
Yeah, exactly. So there's plenty of opportunity. I would not be committing to keepers at this. This is way too far out for that. No. But I want to circle back to something. So first of all, congratulations on. I would imagine you're very excited to move back to DC.
Nope.
You've left the government. What is the next steps, or are we TBD?
Oh no, I started a new job last Monday. I'm running the consulting practice for, like, in my opinion, the best high-end security firm in the country, which makes me very proud to say. Torchstone Global is the name of the company. They're not the biggest firm in the country. And if what you're looking for are like security guards and alarms and like hard security stuff, we're probably way too expensive and not the right choice. We do high net worth, ultra high net worth families. We very publicly have the player security contract for the LPGA. We, among other things that are not public, other sports leagues, other big celebrities, government officials from foreign governments that our government doesn't protect. And then my part of the business is consulting. So it's companies that either have some wacko former employee who's threatening the CEO, or companies that want to know, hey, are our security policies even what they should be? Or, hey, we had a big fuck up and we want to know how to fix it or try to prevent one. That's my new little business. And it's not a new company. It's been around 15 years and privately held. And I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well,
when does Mish Carr become Judge Carr?
Well, I don't know.
We'll impeach Cannon soon, so you'll have her see.
Yeah, well, I did have a coworker jokingly say, look, the DOJ is looking for deportation judges. I'm like,
where from?
Yeah, I don't know that that's where I want to, go plant my flag. So we'll see. I would.
Don't be an IJ. It's not even.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not worth it. So I don't know. It'd be nice to be a judge down the road. It'd be a step down in pay, and I got 2 little kids, so
that's right.
You got to think about that. But more,
what you got to do is hire Paul. Oh, I wish he could hear right now. Too bad. You just got to hire Paul to drive around the state of Florida hitting people with his car.
A lot of people do that. I'm good. I got plenty of cases involving people hitting other people. I've got cases involving pedestrians, one of which I find very dubious, but got a couple of those. So, things happen.
We called you when Catherine got hit by a car in 2020.
I know, you did. Yeah, but she's recovered, thankfully, and you have all of that behind you.
Surgery and shit. Who knew injury attorneys also do surgery?
I mean, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what
very innovative, entrepreneurial. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
give me what it takes. I'm sure you have a an agenda with the playoff picture coming into such interesting relief. A lot of must wins, or at least must not loses, for the top people in the league right now. But who do you put in like those top 4 seeds? The 1 and 2, I think, are easy.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to see really any change. Let me pull it all up, right? So we got it. Let's see, I had it all set. Here we go. So we look at the playoffs. You know,
I just want Jacobs. I want Jacobs to appreciate that in his division are the 10th, 11th, and 12th ranked teams in the league. And yet, in the bottom division, in your division, no, not yours, Tights' division, you've got the 1, 4, 6, and 8 teams in the league. So really, the other 2 divisions are really well stacked competitively. The third division has 2 teams that are 4 and 9, and a team that's 2 and 11.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we see this pretty much every year, where one division is more imbalanced than the others. Usually, you might have 2 teams that separate. It's not uncommon to see one team separate. So it's just kind of the nature of it, and I'd be very curious next year. And based on the fact that you've got a lot of teams, you basically have a third of the league who has a ton of draft picks and a third of the league who has very few draft picks. I'm very curious to see, based on this year, how that will all shape up in terms of divisions, because you very well may have next year 2 divisions that are really, really, really strong and one division that is just poop.
That's what we have now.
Yes, it is, but you may have a situation where next year where there's no good teams in the division. Just depends on, because if you think about like how many draft picks Jacobs has traded away, or Tights has traded away, or Paul has traded away, or I've traded away. It's not that you go guaranteed to get that, but you're probably going to have quite the imbalance next year, which will be interesting. I think, look, I mean, we walked out of the draft.
Now, Zach, I think, has been the primary recipient of most of those critical picks.
Zach has done a great job. When he was on, we were talking about this. I mean, he sold
for big gains.
He's got 9 picks in the first 4 rounds. So he's gonna walk out of the first 4 rounds and he's gonna be done. I mean, he's gonna have a starting lineup plus 2 keepers, and he's gonna be very, very strong. As he should be. And just looking at that roster, I mean, he's got some good keeper options. Dak Prescott's had a very good year. You could certainly go that route. You could convince him probably. You never know, right? If somebody comes on here late in the year, like a Jaden Higgins or a Blake Corum.
Well, and Hawkinson, I think, is a very low keeper pick, if I remember correctly.
Right. So if you expect a bounce back and improvement from J.J. McCarthy, sure. I'm not picking up. I would not want any Vikings players, but I can understand the appeal. So he's going to have all the draft capital he needs. That's definitely a team that's going to be well positioned. There's a couple others like that, and yeah, I mean, Justin's team is similar. If you look for Justin, he's got 8 picks in the first 4 rounds, right? So he's in a very similar position, and here's his keepers. Somebody like a George Pickens, I mean, that's going to be an automatic keeper. He's got Scatabo.
He got Scatabo pretty low too. He got Scatabo in like the
Scatabo is going to cost pretty much nothing. So between Pickens and Scatabo plus those picks, he's going to have 7 or 8 guys he's able to draft early on. He's going to have a strong lineup. So there's going to be a couple of teams that are quite strong in that regard next year. So in terms of how it all shakes out, I mean, look, when you talk about the playoffs,
I think Tights is going to picture this year.
Yeah, look, I think Tights is going to be the 1 seed. Jacobs has to win, have Tights lose, and Jacobs has to outscore Tights by 35 points.
That's going to be hard to do. Well,
that's pretty important.
Tights' lineup.
Well, Jalen Hurts, Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb. It's just going to be difficult. Now, let's see. It's Thursday Night Football. We've got Cowboys, Lions.
That's going to be a good game.
That should be a high-scoring game, so you expect Gibbs and Lamb to do well. But let's just say they didn't. Eric's in trouble, but I would expect him to score enough points to not have that problem of He needs to be, Jacobs can outscore him. I just don't anticipate that being a particular. I don't think that one's going to come into play. And so when you think about the playoff picture, right? If we sort of assume the 1 and 2 seeds are locked in place, they're not going anywhere. That's fine.
I think Eric kind of walks in with it.
Yeah, I think Eric walks in, and the key for Matt and Paul is that division is up for grabs because Paul has to win. Paul has a huge points advantage. He's got 200, almost 250 more points than Matt.
Jesus.
But if Paul loses to Drew, which is not impossible,
but not likely.
Well, right, not Drew. Likely, but not impossible. And Matt beats me, Matt gets the division. Now, most likely, Paul's going to get the division, get the 3 seed.
Wouldn't it be hilarious to have spent all that draft capital on first round, not even first 4 rounds, first round picks,
Yep.
And get Dick?
Everybody is rooting for Drew.
Make the playoffs.
Right, but if you think about this, right, Jacobs and I had this conversation last week. Do you want to be, given that Paul now is really well positioned to be the 3 seed, you want to be tights, not Jacobs, right? Because you want to avoid Paul as long as possible.
Because Paul could always pop in any given week.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's going to finish somewhere between 150 and 200 points more than the next closest team over the course of the season. So, if you've got to go up against a team that averages 10 or more points than you on a weekly basis, that's scary. So I expect Paul to be the 3 just because the math, it works heavily in his favor, but you don't know that for sure. Bodson's going to be locked into the 4 or the 5. It kind of depends on what happens with Paul and Matt, just because he's got a good point advantage on Matt, but he's trails Paul significantly. But Bodson's locked into the 4-5 matchup. And the last spot is Manny, myself, Joe, Drew, in theory, everybody are all in play for that last wild card spot.
Does Drew in play even though he's 5 and 8?
If Manny, myself, and Joe all lose and Drew beats Paul, Drew will get it. Now the math is not.
Where do we get points here? Oh, he's ahead of all of you on points,
and he's ahead. So if it's in theory. If everybody ahead of him loses and Manny doesn't outscore Drew by 15, Drew's walking in the playoffs. Now,
unlikely.
Unlikely.
So Fantasy Pros gives it we got Manny, you, and Richmond all fighting for that 6 seed.
Yep. We're all fighting for the 6 seed, and Manny has a 31 point lead on me and about 38 points on Joe.
But only
and
about
these are the matchups.
He's got a 15-point deficit on Drew.
Now, of course, you're assuming
all 3
teams are going to have equal outcomes, right? So Eric is playing Joe. The odds are Eric's going to win. I'm playing Matt. Odds are Matt's going to win. Manny's playing Bodson. Odds are Bodson's going to win. And Drew's playing Paul. So this may very well just come down to points because everybody might lose, or you might have some other combination, but it doesn't exactly look well.
Where's the Bodson matchup?
Here we go. Here's the Bodson matchup.
Shortest yard, flying tacos. This I think is going to determine who gets that spot.
Yeah, I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers, and that putrid offense. I mean, I don't know. Manny has Puka Nacua. That's sort of I think the wild card, the scary aspect of this, because
he doesn't really have. Do you think he's going to pay enough attention to his lineup to start a defense?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but it's also, I don't know. It's Manny, like historical Manny says no, but I feel like he'll pay attention.
When I was arguing for my points to get counted earlier this season, and I said to Manny, "Hey, can you chime in the chat?" Do you want to know what his response was? Do you want to know?
What chat?
What chat? And he wasn't kidding. And I told him, and he's like, "Oh, you mean on the pod?" And I was like, "No, Manny, in the group me." And his answer was, "What is group me?" He eventually joined downloaded GroupMe and said like a non-committal nothing on my behalf, which shout out to Manny. But the point is, not only has he never participated in this chat, he has no idea we ever even had a chat.
You know what? That's not surprising because here's the thing. So Manny was here with his girlfriend, who's from Miami. So I met them for lunch Thanksgiving week.
10? Just give it to us straight. Is she a 10?
You know, we're live across the world right now. So, but anyway, no, she's very nice.
Manny deserves a 10.
Yeah, she's great. She's very nice. He seems very happy. Those are the things that matter. But anyway, what I learned during that lunch, we were together.
World.
Right, we are technically live across the world. We have one viewer. They're not abroad at the moment, but they're probably in your neck of the woods.
How do you see where the viewers are?
Well, I know who's tuning in because I can see the comments.
Where's the comments? Oh, yeah. we have 2 viewers.
Oh, 2 viewers. Never mind. All right. So anyway, back to the story. What I learned is Manny did not know that Paul was engaged.
Oh.
So I was like, excuse me, what do you mean? You live in the same city. Like, don't you see him, talk to him? Manny had no idea because Manny obviously doesn't have social media. And I confirmed this with Paul. Yep. Totally oblivious to the fact that Paul's been engaged for 3 or 4 months now, at least.
Maybe even a little more.
Maybe more than that. I don't know. Right.
Jacobs, did you know? Yeah. Put it in the comments, Jacobs. Did you know Paul's engaged? Put in the comments.
We'll find out. We'll find out. So, yeah. So, I mean, look, we could talk about the football. This is a matchup, Manny and Bodson. I mean, the odds are Bodson's going to win. He needs a kicker, but I don't know if he really does. He's a 26-point favorite without a kicker.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
but there is a chance. I'm not going to reach out and let him know because it would be fascinating if he loses by a margin winnable by a defense,
Yeah, well, what's interesting, and we go back and play this. I mean, I lost to Manny by 6 points in week 11. That week I made 2 trades. From Manny, I acquired Vidal, and I acquired Kenneth Walker from Matt. And I played Vidal over Walker, and I lost by 6 points. If I play Kenneth Walker, I win by 16 points, and none of this really probably matters at all.
None of this happens.
So, there are butterfly wings and sliding doors that are having very real impacts at this point.
Oh, yeah. There was a season where I had a top 3 player in every position going in the finals, I believe it was. And I don't remember if it was CD or somebody get like -2 points who had a history all season of getting, 18, 20, 30 points in a game. And it cost me.
Well, I mean, look, that happens, right? Where, negative points happen, players get hurt. There's a luck is a large part of this on a week-to-week basis, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tucker Kraft injury wasn't going to change my season, but an injury like that could easily throw the playoffs, easily.
Yeah, I mean, look, how many times this season did I try to trade to Paul Tyler Algier?
Yeah.
Right? You have Bijan Robinson. He is a top 3 player at his position. If he gets seriously hurt, that is a 0. You do not have depth. I am offering you the protection.
Yeah.
This is the insurance plan when you buy the phone or the computer.
Yeah.
Does not want it. Telling me he's worthless to him. He's just going to drop him. I go, okay, I don't believe you because that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Number one. Number 2 is if you don't want him, if he's not important to you, okay.
Right.
I'll hold on to him. Right. It doesn't matter to me. Let's see. I'm always very cautious about those types of things. I think that it's even if you never need it, you want that break glass in case of emergency option, right? And if you're Paul and you got the greatest fantasy team ever, that's what you've missed all season in the pods. Paul constantly telling us he's got one of the top fantasy football teams of all time.
Yeah.
Right. As Jacobs
the
likes to
record
remind
doesn't
us.
really show that.
That's what, right? The record doesn't show it. You got to win your matchups, right?
I mean,
It's
it just
Paul.
tells you, Mr. Commissioner, I must, for those not fully tuned in, it comes down to coaching and management, Coaching.
I agree.
Hey, where can you pull up the luck scores? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, to be fair, all of his losses had tremendously bad luck scores.
I would say they haven't all had.
Well, one of them
was
only 27, but
I
the
mean,
rest, the rest
if you don't. Here's the thing: he's only failed to break 100 once, and
right.
frankly, he's been above 110 all but 3 weeks. I mean, he's very consistent, and he's had some really high scores. He's won by more. He's won by more than 100.
It shows here
he's won
average win margin, almost 40 points.
Yeah, his win when he wins big.
And he wins more often. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's 8-5.
My luck scores. I want to see the luck scores of a losing team.
Sure, we can certainly.
This is breaking news.
Yeah, I would say there's not a lot of luck here.
No, but I'm actually looking for the positive luck scores. I've had more luck this season than I think I've ever had before. Yes, I'm only 4-9, but I'm 4-9 with a team. With a team where most of my players are way outside the top 10, top 15, sometimes top 20.
Well, and you beat Paul.
Yeah,
like of all the things, right?
The best team ever played. The best team.
You beat the best team. You beat the best team ever. So you feather in your cap, right? I think those should be worth extra points in the when Jacobs updates the rankings.
How often did you beat the single best team ever to play fantasy football?
That's right. Exactly. Anybody who beat Paul this year gets an extra 5 points.
So let's see here.
I'm an advocate for that.
Actually, a surprising amount of break-even luck, no luck at all involved.
Well, when you come in 12th, there's no luck involved there.
Oh, well, then that's most of my season. Yeah.
I think what it's telling you is
any wins I've had have been a great deal of luck.
The wins you've had have all involved, a fair bit. I think the biggest thing is consistency over on the left there. It's plus or minus 18 points a week. You're kind of, there. Let's look at the last 2 weeks.
I'm 55 points,
98. Right, you just kind of all over the place. You kind of yo-yo back and forth.
Mostly back.
Sometimes, mostly back.
Mostly back.
I don't know. It's fantasy football. It's just how it goes. Sometimes you walk out of the draft and you got a good team and it works out. And
I knew the moment the draft ended this year. I knew going into it because I really played to win last year, so I really ran out of high round picks. I gave a lot of them to Paul, and I'm so glad to see they've gone to a good home. So I knew going into the draft that I would have to get really lucky on some rookie stock to have even an average season. I would need to pick a couple of rookies like I did with Tucker Kraft or whatever that or Patrick Mahomes that blew up, at the right time. And that didn't happen. And then the people I did have who were maybe game winners got hurt, Brock Purdy and Tucker Kraft. And that was the end of that season. And then I traded away Adams, but I knew I was going to trade him away, Devontae.
Yeah, well, he's had a really good year. And I think, Stafford, I don't know how to put this. When you got almost 40-year-old Stafford with no back out there playing that well, and Adams is the beneficiary to such a large extent, all those touchdowns, it makes a huge difference. You obviously can't predict that. The odds were that Adams was going to struggle. He was not great last year. Obviously, he's turned it around, and it's paid off for both the Rams, and in fantasy. So, kudos to that kind of pick and then being able to turn that into something.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a part of the luck, right? You could easily have a repeat of last year, and then you're really not getting anything for it, and there's no value there. So, I think also you look at teams, right, like Justin. Lamar Jackson gets hurt early in the year. Joe Burrow gets hurt. What's he going to do with Lamar and Chase? He's kind of stuck with.
He went all in on a couple of really
when
strong.
You have those kind of keepers,
required both people to stay healthy.
Exactly. If guys don't stay healthy, or their team struggles for whatever reason. That's it. So
Jacob says last year I had a 9, 10, and 12 in my division. 9, 10, 12, I see. 9, 10, 12 in my division and made it to the final. A competitor is a competitor. That's exactly right. But how'd you punch your ticket?
Well, I mean, I think Jacobs 2 years in a row is the beneficiary of incredibly weak divisions to a large extent, right? You can rack up a bunch of division wins that sort of help. Jacobs is probably going to go 5-1 in division 2 years in a row.
Yeah. No one else will have done that. I don't think so.
Eric can go 6-0.
Tights
can go 6-0, which that doesn't happen a lot. Usually, I'm trying to look back. The last time somebody went 6-0 in division, 2 years ago, Justin went 6-0. But again, in his division, he had the 7, 10, and 12 teams in that division, right?
That gets closer to balance. But yeah, Jacob's saying 9, 10, 12. This year, I think we had 10, 11, 12, right, in my division?
Yeah, so Jacobs had that year 2 years ago, Justin had the 7, 11, and 12 teams. Last year, Jacobs had the 9, 10, 12. Again, that's pretty equal.
10, 11, 12 now, yeah.
To what Justin had 2 years ago. And in this year, Jacobs has the 10, 11, 12 teams. So he's got the 3 worst teams in the league by...
To be fair, though, he's got the second best overall record in the league by 2 games.
Oh, yeah. No, he deserves credit. I'm not taking any away from what he's done, but, it does help when you're going to get 5 wins against, you're going to kind of get gifted 5 wins, right? So it's like the kind of you get out of bed, you get off the bus, and you get the W type of thing. So, I don't know. That's telling me that the camera is turned on in the kids' room. So, that happens, right? Like that.
And making pods too. That's what they're doing. That's why the camera's on. Yeah.
No, what it tells us when it automatically flips on from inactive to active. Like we have it on a timer.
That's cool. Oh, that's smart. I mean, look. What kind of camera? You have an Nanit?
No, this is a separate. This is not a monitor camera. This is like a sensor camera.
Cool.
Because my wife's paranoid.
Yeah.
Yep. My wife. She heard that, so that's good.
What?
That's great. My wife heard me call her paranoid. So.
Hey, hi Kim. You're not paranoid to me. Hi.
Hello.
So no. I mean, it's just one of those things.
I mean, though, that if the baby rolls around at all, you get a movement alert.
No, it's like it's not related to the crib, so it's somewhere else in the room.
Like pointing at a window or door. Or something.
Yeah,
Safety, it's not paranoia. It's everyone.
It's so that if
I'm with you,
it's angled. So if there's motion in the room, not the crib, but like the room generally.
Oh yeah.
It will turn on and it will capture that.
I mean, we have somewhat similar. I don't have anything on the inside of our nursery, but I have a camera on the outside of our nursery on the wall, pointed at the window.
Yeah.
And that will send us a motion alert too.
Yeah, so we only have it like turned like active at night because
mine's active all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't need that. So it's just like we get a notification every night when it flips.
Yeah.
So
hey, it's totally separate non-football question, and I will have to go make dinner. A good third of this podcast has been non-football, which is great because I have so little insight on the season. Okay, smart locks on your home. A net safer thing to do or a net less safe thing to do? You would think I would know the answer to this because I'm literally now running a consulting business that includes ultra-rich people's residential safety.
So you're talking like those electronic locks that you can control with your phone.
Correct. And what's tricky about those, upside, you can confirm that the door is locked from anywhere. And if it's not, you can lock it from anywhere. Right. And if you're sitting in bed, and especially if you get a bigger house, what's locked? What's not? Right. Downside, hacking, same as baby monitors.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's what I'd say. When we moved into our house, my wife wanted a second deadbolt installed. So we have 2 deadbolts on our front door.
Smart. One manual, one smart?
No, we have 2 manual deadbolts.
2 manual deadbolts.
It's paid off in this because our oldest got tall enough where he could reach the bottom one.
Ah.
Now he can reach both, but he knows he's not supposed to go outside without an adult. Plus, now because of that, there's another thing at the top of the door to catch it, right?
Like the door catcher. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a separate, different thing to the garage, so they can't go into the garage on their own.
How wild.
And this week, what have we had to do this week? We had to replace the batteries in one of the wireless sensors on one of the bedroom windows because that was.
You have an earthquake sensor?
An earthquake sensor? No, we have our HOA pays for a home security service. So we have that.
But like it will go off if the glass breaks on the window?
Oh, just the regular alarm system. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So any of the doors or windows are open or get open for some reason. We have jams, so you can't open the windows that high in all the bedrooms. On the insides, right? So additional protection. We don't have bars on the windows, but we pretty much got everything else. I don't need cameras on every single side. It's not really.
I have them on every side.
Yeah, I mean that's not necessary where we are, but we have them in the front and the back.
Yeah.
So on all the exterior doors have them. I'm pro manual, old school, just because I think
hard to defeat.
It's hard to defeat, right? Like if someone's gonna break into my house with 2 deadbolts, the odds are, I'm probably gonna notice that.
I hope Kim's in the room to hear this one.
She's not.
Have you done any? Do you have any glass that is large enough for someone to come through?
Yeah, we have sliding doors. Yeah.
Have you treated those bitches?
No, but they both have. I don't know what you would call it. They both have rods.
To prevent them from being open, but not to prevent them from being.
No, we don't have somebody coming in. Yeah.
We have even on these windows, we have a film. It's not great because you could theoretically punch out the whole pane, but these windows cannot be shattered. They can only be removed from their frames and moved in one piece. So if you tried to hit it with a hammer a bunch of times, it would look bad, but it would remain one large piece, and then you'd have to deal with that. Window film.
Interesting. Yeah,
it's cheaper to do the film like we did because we know we're not
of course, yeah.
But what you can also do is replace the actual glass with what they call 5-minute or 15-minute glass. That gives you that much time before it will break.
Interesting.
But that's much more expensive.
For us, it's like if we're going to replace the glass, we would go to hurricane windows. Right. So it's like that's the only beneficial change.
The film also has a UV protection, which is nice.
Yeah. See, for us,
cheaper, but
the way our home is positioned, we only really have issues with a large amount of sunlight coming in through the sliders in the winter.
Yeah.
And then we don't really have that issue any time of year based on the foliage and the position of everything. But we've got zebra shades, so we can control that are electric, so we can control everywhere. We can cover as much of the windows we need.
Jacobs confirms his knowledge of the engagement. I'm now realizing that he is about 15 minutes behind in what we're talking about. So, Jacobs, it is currently West Coast time, 5:37. We're going to be done here in a second. Thank you for watching Home Security Corner.
Yeah,
and you'll be receiving this greeting at roughly 5:53. So thanks for tuning in, even though we're now long gone.
Yeah, long gone. I mean, look, you can move this up to 1.5 speed. You still catch everything that gets said, right? I won't be upset. So yeah, it's everything good with the wife and the kid. Everybody's
good. We're just waiting on the baby to get confident enough to walk. She can do it. She pushes other kids on the little push cars, they're sitting on it at daycare, and she'll push it. But and I think she can stand on her own now. She just won't.
Yeah, I mean, she's what, a year?
Yeah, 13 months. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both of our kids they could do it, but they just didn't. They just it's not. I don't know if it's confidence or it's just until they do it themselves the first time, it doesn't fully click.
Yeah.
Right. So they get very confident. Our kids loved pushing the push toy.
Yep.
They were like, I'll just do the push toy forever. And it's like, no. Like you can walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in that exact phase right now.
Yeah. It takes a little bit. Our kids didn't walk to Adam was like basically 15 months and the other one was about 14. So, you know.
We're probably on track with that. We're probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, they all do it at their own pace. And I mean, it's pretty common. Most kids we know do it somewhere between like 12 and 16 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
You know, girls tend to do it earlier than boys, but that's not a given. That's just, you know.
Yeah. All righty. I'm going to jump off and go make some tiny little chopped up meatballs for dinner.
I know that life. Yeah, all too well. I understand. Yeah. If you want a discount code for Little Spoon, you or Catherine should go check out Mamas and Minis South Florida Instagram, and sometimes in the stories there are links for discount code for Little Spoon.
Story of anything ever. I'll tell Catherine.
But your wife can. Your wife will be interested in this.
Yeah,
your wife should follow the account, and she will get a discount code.
Some page that I follow or whatever will be like, check out our stories for this cool. Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no. Look, my wife runs a business, mom focused, and she has access to a discount code for Little Spoon. You should try to take advantage.
Yeah, I'll tell Catherine. I don't think we knew the name. Mamas and Minis, South Florida.
Mamas and Minis. Yep.
Got it. Right. Cool, dude. Hey, I plug my business, my new business.